and welcome to SyncSpider Ops podcast. My name is Norbert, I'm your host, and today I am chatting with Ryan Hogan from, and now it comes, Hunt a Killer. This is great. Welcome, Ryan. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you on board. Ryan, let me ask you, how did you first get into e-commerce?
Yeah, I think this would probably be technically our first e-commerce brand. You know, the story of Hunt a Killer really started with an experiential business, so live events. My partner and I came out of the obstacle race industry, where we created this 5K obstacle course where people are chased by zombies. And fast forward 3 years after that, we wound that down in 2013. 2016, we launched Hunt a Killer, and Hunt a Killer was very much the same from the stance of it was a live experience. We transformed a 200-acre campground into a living crime scene, and it was all these really cool things. But at the end of the day, it just didn't scale, and that's really one of the reasons that we got into e-commerce, is because we were looking for business models that we could scale based upon the product market fit that we found with the live event. And so, we sold out the event. It was all great, but we just didn't make any money. And so we wound up backing into the subscription box industry, and launching an e-commerce website and scaling the business from there.
Cool. Tell us a bit about Hunt a Killer. What is it about? What do you sell for Hunt a Killer online?
Yeah, so Hunt a Killer, we sell experiences, and
Yeah.
we're an immersive entertainment company. And so, one of our clear differentiators in the space is that we're not really a subscription box company. Hunt a Killer is an episodic delivery of immersive entertainment, and what that means is that each month we send you clues, items, and correspondence, and basically all of these physical items are leading you through a journey, an investigative journey that culminates on the season finale. So each season is 6 episodes long. And then once you get to the season finale and solve the season, you move right to the next season.
That's cool. What's your current eCom tech stack?
Current eCom tech stack. Right now, we are built on the Shopify platform.
Yeah.
And we are using Recharge as an application off the Shopify to be able to do the actual subscription side of things. And then we're using the Shopify platform to sell our premium experiences. Our tech stack is pretty deep at this point. We use a lot of plugins. We're in a state where we're doing a lot of custom development and building a lot of our own applications. But in the very beginning, it's all about, you need to get the job done. You need to find services that are out of the box and can do the job. So, everything from Typeform that runs the application process for people to actually become a member, Webflow from where you first drop at huntakiller.com, Klaviyo. We're using very standard out of the box services at this point to really focus on growth and not focus on development.
That's cool. And do you also sell on some marketplaces or other platforms, or is it all about your e-com store?
Yeah, so I guess it really depends on the product, because we have premium experiences. And so if you think about premium experiences, it's the same thing where it's immersive entertainment, it's immersive storytelling, it's storytelling through clues and items and correspondence, but actual physical goods. And we have these things called premium experiences, and they could be equated to a full feature-length film. From start to finish, you get the box, and our subscription is obviously more like a television series that's run episodically. And so, we use Shopify for a lot of our e-commerce sales. But Amazon actually has a subscription box beta program that they launched about 3 years ago, and we were rolled up into their beta program last year. So we actually sell subscriptions on the Amazon platform. But as far as marketplaces, right now, that's really the only places we're at. We're currently developing actual board games, or at least a competitor in the board game industry. And so next year, you'll see us on more things like, BarnesandNobles.com, Walmart.com, Costco.com, things like that.
Oh, cool, that's great. So you currently have most of the sales through your Shopify store. Is that right?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. And you also ship physical goods?
We ship physical goods. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and we do it all ourselves. And,
Oh,
that's
really?
one thing we do. We do. We
Wow.
don't use it. We don't use a 3PL. And actually last week we just had our record setting week ever. And we shipped 33,423 boxes in a single week.
Wow.
Um, and so
That's
it's been a,
insane.
yeah,
How many people boxed them?
we've got probably somewhere between 35 and 40 people that work out of our fulfillment center.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, it's been an incredible journey to build all of this stuff from scratch. And really, for us, the problem is, I know a lot of eCom companies use 3PLs. And if you can use a 3PL, by all means, the more you can focus on your business, the more you can focus on your product, the better. For us, though, a big part of that product is actually the construction of the product. So like the manufacturing. And so while we're not necessarily printing items in-house or manufacturing the widgets that go into the box, we are very much taking all of those things and putting them together. And so it might be 20 pieces of paper that need to go into a case file. So they need hole punch and they need to go into a case file. The case file needs to get closed and needs to get set just right in the box because whatever's on top of that, has to be looked at first. And so we have found it one, very difficult to outsource our fulfillment process, but two, we do a very good job at it.
It's good when you have it in house. It's even great. So this is awesome. And what do you do about the shipping labels? Do you use a specific tool to print them out or
Yep, yeah. So I think we use ShipStation, and we use
ShipStation?
ShipStation since really since day one. And what the interesting part is, and you were talking about some of the applications and our tech stack earlier. The thing that is unique about our box is that everybody starts at the same point. And that makes things challenging with standard softwares, even standard subscription softwares, because it is not a common feature to be able to tag whatever the actual number of that subscription is. And so we had to build a custom application off of Recharge that tells us what episode that individual is on. For most subscription boxes, it's just a matter of, it's the month of April, it's the month of May. Okay, we're going to ship 112,000 boxes this month. And it's all the same box. And we are very different. Right now all of our boxes are SKUs. And at any given time, we're shipping 18 to 20 different SKUs in a day.
Oh, this is great. I like the idea really because it's like watching episodes on Netflix. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can start from the day one, and this is really cool. Great
yeah,
feature.
and and one of the other great parts about this is, like, you can actually binge, and we have
Uh-huh.
a couple competitors out there, and what we are focused on is communicating with our members, listening to the feedback, and implementing those changes. And with your Netflix comment, one of the most highly requested features was, we want to be able to expedite. So when you go on the Netflix and you binge an entire season, our members wanted to do the same thing. And so we went and we built custom features inside the software to give them a button that says expedite my next episode. So many of our members, many of our members are going through 2, 3, 4 episodes in a month.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have someone dedicated in your company that is responsible for operations?
We do. We
Yeah,
have quite a few
yeah,
that
yeah.
are responsible. So we've got a VP of operations, and she is really over top of everything from the fulfillment to the manufacturing, inventory management, and then also our customer service team.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And what do you do to ensure that your customers have the constantly awesome experience all across your product?
Yeah, we're constantly innovating. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. And I used to speak a lot about this probably about a year ago, and I had a number to it. Since we started, the product has gone through 120 some iterations. Today, I'm sure it's in the 300s. And the whole concept here is that we are constantly improving the experience. One of the things that we did very early on was we built a community in Facebook, and today we've got 120,000 people in this secret Facebook group. And while that provides a community for our members to talk about everything from what's on their mind to different types of true crime stuff that's happening in the world, the other thing that they do is they give us feedback. They tell us what we're doing right, and most importantly, they tell us what we're doing wrong. And we listen to those sorts of things, and we immediately take action and start iterating and improving the product.
That's a good philosophy. Always iterating, always improving. It's cool. And how do you do that? What do you do you have meetings to discuss those things, or?
Yeah, so in the very early days, we would have an all hands company meeting. And this was when we were probably somewhere between 7 and 10 people. And so what we would do is we would collect feedback over a 3-month period, and then we would run a net promoter survey. And then the entire company would shut down for 4 hours, and we would all come around the table and discuss the results. Today, it's a little bit more automated, and it's built into our product development process. And so one thing to keep in mind is that we do these things called season shifts. And basically what a season shift is a time where we move the starting point to a new starting point, to a fresher, to a better starting point. And we just did this in January. Everybody that's playing today is actually on a season called Cadence Theater. And what this does for us is it allows us to continue to look at the feedback and iterate whatever those changes may be. And it starts for us in the very beginning from the product development process, because on the first day, before we pick up our pens and start writing amazing stories, we look at all of the feedback that we've been able to collect through whatever period that was. And then ultimately, we'll eventually switch the entire starting cohort to that season, because we know it's better, because we listen to our members.
Okay. Someone entirely different. Did you have any significant downtime or technical issue, that disruption of a service that you faced in the past time, or is the stack entirely stable?
No, I don't think anybody's tech stack is entirely stable. I mean,
no, otherwise it wouldn't be a tech stack.
Right. No, we're constantly dealing with issues and challenges. Less so today. We have a rock star VP of technology that joined us, almost a year ago now. And ever since he joined the team, I would say downtime is minimal for us. But the reliance on other systems presents a challenge for any company. So for instance, if you're using the Shopify platform, which Shopify is amazing and very rarely goes down, but when Shopify goes down, you're out of control. And so, there are some things that we've seen over the past couple of years that we've tried to correct. One of the crazy parts about this, so if anybody out there is using Webflow, we had significant challenges getting an SSL certificate to automatically renew on the Webflow system. And it's just based upon how we're using Cloudflare and all these other things, and how these systems connect. And we're using subdomains, and some of our subdomains are living on Squarespace. So we have a very complicated tech stack, just because we continue to use all of these pieces from all over the place. But that's certainly presented challenges. And something as simple as just keeping an SSL certificate updated in the past has been a challenge, and it's crashed our entire website. And as you know, and as your listeners I'm sure know, the minute your website crashes is the minute that your Facebook pixel stops firing. And the minute your Facebook pixel stops firing is the minute that Facebook goes back into relearning mode and takes another 3 days of burning a whole bunch of your cache to start to relearn who the target audience is and serve the right people. So it's definitely a challenge, and we've got some rock stars in place that are constantly monitoring.
That's perfect. Good to hear. And what a role does automation play in your company?
Automation. I'm trying to think. What are we automating right now? Actually, I think a good example of automation for us at this point would be some of our customer service tasks. There was a time, if you look back 2 years ago, every single question that came through had to have a human touch point. And whether it was a generic, how do I sign up, or how do I cancel, or I need to change my shipping address. There are very common questions out there that you can automate, and it took us quite some time. Again, we were very much focused on growth. We were very much focused on building a great product, and some of these things fell to the wayside. But once we really took a hard look at some of the different things technology could bring to the table and automation, we started to automate some of those simple responses. And so, I mean, I know that sounds weird. It's kind of like going to a phone tree and you press the number and it takes, you're like, no, I just want to talk to the operator. But we can clear 40% of our tickets just through some sort of automated response where it answers and addresses the question that the member is asking. So, I would say from an automation standpoint, integrating that into customer service has been incredibly helpful.
Yeah, having chatbots on the website it's a new era of support. We know it from the phone systems, as you said. But the chatbots really help to lower the tickets. This is what we've also seen. Yeah, absolutely. You still need to have the human touch point. This is, of course, something else.
Yeah.
You always need humans to be present, but for the really easy questions, there is nothing wrong letting chatbots do something.
Exactly. And that's like, you want to make sure that the members can get through as easy as possible. But if you can answer their question in half a second, they're much more happy than waiting for an agent.
What will your ops team be focused in the next 12 months?
Ops team focused in the next 12 months, streamlining, streamlining processes. From a growth standpoint, we expect that we're going to continue to double year over year. And I think it's very easy when you're in this type of mode, that thinking about the way things that I've done it in the past is the way that we need to continue to do it, or that's the right way. And that's very rarely the case. As companies evolve and as you grow, you need to be able to think outside of the box and continue to challenge all of your assumptions. And a lot of those assumptions are, hey, this is the way we've always done it. And so being able to streamline those types of processes, I mean, everything from, organizing the warehouse in the right manner, which I think we did a great job when we moved into our new one last year, to where are things set up? How many touch points to put, this document into this file, into this box, and how can we start to really streamline some of these things? So from an operations standpoint, what we'll really be looking at is how do we streamline a lot of this stuff? And a part of that may be how do we put together some of this stuff that and just ship from our warehouse? Do we have to put all this stuff together here, or the same folks that are manufacturing this stuff, do they have the competency level to be able to put the stuff together and just give us final SKUs and we just slap a label? So there's a lot of things that we're looking at, both in 2020 and 2021. But for us, it's all about process and efficiency.
Okay, cool. Last question.
Yep.
Very interesting one. Who has taught you the most about e-commerce in your career today? Up to date.
I would probably go with this is a really interesting one, and his name is Eric Carlson, and Eric was a very early marketer for us, and he stayed on for almost the entire ride. But Eric taught me really everything I know about e-commerce, everything from having a good offer to be able getting in front of the right audience to setting up the right systems. I knew nothing about. I remember this one day, and I was. If you've ever heard of Blenders, it's a sunglass company out of San Diego, and I had just bought a pair of sunglasses, and this was maybe 6 years ago. And then I pull up Facebook and I'd see the Blenders, and like that just blew my mind that like I'm getting served ads for something I just looked at, and I had no idea like how that. And I actually sent them an email. Like I sent support@blenders.com an email to figure out how they're following me around the internet, because I saw so much opportunity here if we could figure out a product to sell. And this was before Hunt to Killer. But once we moved to e-commerce, like we had to find somebody that already knew what they were doing, already knew how to deploy Facebook ads, already knew what pixels were and what e-commerce platform to look like. And Eric Carlson was really critical to get us off the ground and get us where we are today.
That's cool. Yeah, thank you very much. It was great talking to you, Ryan. It was awesome. Thanks for so much input and so much valuable insights in your company. I wish you
Awesome.
good luck with Hunt a Killer, and yeah, to ship 50,000 packages the next few months.
There you go.
A week,
there you go.
of course.
Yeah, thank
A
you so
week,
much
of
for
course.
having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Bye-bye.